Welcome to today's episode of Chronicles of a Nigerian Woman. My name is Fagbeja, and today I'm reading Davina's story. I am the only child of my parents, and they waited a while before they could have me. I grew up not really knowing any of my cousins or having any other family around. I've always been a tomboy, and I played mostly with the guys in our neighborhood. It was a close-knit community in a relatively new area where most of the people who lived there were homeowners who all knew each other, and most of the children attended the same schools. I liked to play football, climb trees, pluck fruit, etc., and this was what I spent a lot of my free time doing, especially when my parents were away at work. My closest friend was Bayo. We attended the same school and were classmates, even though he joined us in primary 4 when they moved into the area. He had twin younger sisters who also thought the world of me. He lived about 2 streets away from us, and through us, our parents became friendly. We were almost always together, either in their house or in ours, or on the field nearby playing games with others. After primary school, I was sent to a girls-only boarding school, but Bayo remained a day student in one of the schools in the area. We still maintained our close friendship. It was the era before mobile phones, and we communicated mainly by letters. Most times, he and his sisters would come with my parents to see me on visiting days. He was like the brother I never had. When we were in GS3, we did not get to see each other as much as usual because I was kept in school for extension classes, and he couldn't visit because his school organized Saturday classes. By the time we completed our exams and I got home, Bayo was turning 14. I was completely surprised to find his voice deeper, and he seemed to have grown so much taller in the period I was away. I turned 13 about 6 months earlier, and even though I hadn't started seeing my periods, I had started developing my curves for almost a year. But Bayo was different. He was more self-conscious and seemed guarded. I noticed, but it didn't mean anything to me. He was still Bayo, my brother and my playmate. We didn't go out to play football now. We spent more time indoors, playing video games and watching action movies. Since it was the GS3 holidays, his sisters were at school during the week, and it was mainly he and I that were together, either in our house or at his. There was nothing amiss the Wednesday that Bayo called me on the landline phone we had then and asked me to come over. One of his friends had brought a new game cartridge, and he wanted me to be part of the fun. I didn't think twice before going over to their house. When I got there, I went straight to his room where his game console was kept. His friend was already playing the game, and I sat on the floor as usual. We had been chatting and playing for about 30 minutes when there was a knock on their front door. Bayo said it was his 2 other friends who had promised to come, and he went to bring them in. When they came in, he introduced us all, and we kept playing. I had always been comfortable in the midst of boys, so there was nothing out of the ordinary, until the one I met playing the game grabbed my wrist and held me so tightly that I could not get away from him. I shouted in annoyance, asking him to leave me alone, but he wouldn't. I called Bayo, and as I looked back, I saw that he was standing beside the shut door and was simply staring at us. When our eyes met, he looked away. "Bayo, what's going on?" I asked, but he didn't answer me. "Bayo, please help me," I begged, but he stared aloofly as though he was looking through me. His 3 friends took turns raping me, 2 holding me down and covering my mouth, and 1 on top of me at a time. They stripped me of my jeans and my virginity, while Bayo did and said nothing, but stood by the door, staring straight ahead the whole time. I tried to struggle, but it was no use, so I gave up after the first one. When they were done, they got dressed, and Bayo ushered them out, leaving me lying on the floor and locking me in the room. I couldn't get up for a while, But I was determined not to keep lying down there, so I gathered my strength and managed to sit on the bed. I got my jeans back on before Bayo returned to the room with a cold bottle of Coke which he stretched to me. "Fumi, I am sorry." I looked at him and spat in his face before limping out of the room in tears. I managed to get home. I was bleeding and I didn't know what to do, so I went straight to bed. My mother woke me up after she had been back for 2 hours. She saw that I had been crying and my jeans were stained. I was scared, but she pressed me to tell her what was wrong. So I told her what happened. She took me to the hospital where I was taken care of. The matter became a big issue in our neighborhood, with different people taking different sides. Eventually, my parents decided to move from the area. That was when I changed my name to Davina because I never wanted to remember Bayo's voice calling my name. Bayo almost destroyed me, but as I grew older, I decided that I would not let him have the power over my life. I was 32 before I could allow myself to be open to relationships. Before then, I cut my hair and maintained a boyish style. I never wore jewelry or fitting clothes. People thought I was a lesbian. On my 32nd birthday, I took back my life. I started dressing up, wearing jewelry, and even makeup. I have a petite stature that belies my age, so it wasn't long before I started getting male interest. It wasn't easy, but I made up my mind to put the incident behind me. I am 46 now, and I married a wonderful man 8 years ago. I never told him about what happened to me because I was determined not to let it have a place in my life. I have 3 children, all female, and I am so protective of them that my husband teases me about being a mother hen. If only he knew. What do you have to say to Davina? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my stories.